The Masters 8 is among us, and it's going to be pretty intense no matter what angle you look at. 8 trainers deemed to be the strongest the Pokemon world has to offer. However, I will say, I do not agree with a few of these trainers being in the top 8. There are a few that can be justified in a sense, but there are a few others where I just have to ask why and how did you get here? There's no hate whatsoever. I can just think of other individuals that not only have the qualifications, but they could also be very interesting for the plot of Journeys in general. Today, I'll be covering who I think should and should not be in the Masters 8. Obviously, the current roster isn't going anywhere. But if I were running things, I can 100% say it would be a lot more interesting because there are a few trainers on here that should not be here, period. With that, let's just get into this. So, the current Masters 8 are of course our boy Ketchup, Iris, Diantha, Alon, Steven, Lance, Cynthia, and Leon. The one character I would immediately cut is Diantha. I'm sorry, she does not need to be here. For one, we have Alon for Kalos representation, and I really like him as a character. Him and Ash have a history with each other, a very personal history. Not to mention in the games, Diantha gets steamrolled easily. I don't think I'm the only one who feels this way about her. A character I think that could replace her is one that has not been mentioned once in the Pokemon anime. This character may also surprise some of you. Where's Mustard? Also, we have Ketchup, so why wouldn't Mustard be there? Anyways, stupid jokes aside, Mustard is a previous champion of the Galar region who was undefeated for 18 years, who appeared in the Isle of Armor DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield. He gave Leon his Charizard and was his master. In Journeys, we have no history as to why Leon became number 1. Though I have my set of issues with that, if Journeys touched up as to how he reached that place, there would be no more issues. For now, my reasoning for how he got the number 1 is Galar, new generation, and plot convenience. Leon should for sure be in the top 5 at the very least, but number 1 I think is a stretch. However, the perfect way to justify his number 1 placement is by introducing Mustard to the Pokemon anime. There could be a few episodes in which Mustard can lay out his experiences with Leon and perhaps touch up on the history of how he got to this number 1 spot. Mustard alone could very easily tie up these loose ends, and easily has the potential of being in the top 8. He has the qualifications, obviously, being undefeated for 18 years, he has the experience for it, and not to mention, we could see Urshifu, who is very awesome. Even though I wasn't a huge fan of the Sword and Shield DLC, Mustard deserves more spotlight because of the way he was executed. He needs an anime appearance, regardless of if he's not in the top 8. Screw Diantha though, Mustard replaces her easily. The next character that is replaceable is Iris. I don't deny her skill, but I think that Alder could replace her. Now, before you tell me she defeated Alder, we don't have confirmation of that. For all we know, Alder could have just retired as a champion. Due to his age, that could definitely be a possibility. In no way do I think Iris doesn't deserve her spot. I just think because she already has had her character arc in Journeys, I think a more underutilized character deserves that. I will admit, Iris has grown on me over the past year, but I've learned to appreciate Alder more and what he could do for the anime series as a whole. He's an old, experienced champion that could add a lot into the mix. I think he would be better for Univin representation because he is the original Univin champion, and he has a lot of knowledge to offer. Not to mention, I also just want to see him go all out in a battle, no holds bars, because I think he's extremely underrated as a trainer, especially with having such a diverse team. Imagine him pulling out that Volcarona. I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Thirdly, we have Steven. Now before you Hoenn fans scream at me, hear me out for a second. Steven 100% deserves to be there. He is the original Hoenn champion. However, I say original because there is technically another champion that realistically could be interchangeable, and I think him or Steven could work. that other champion being Wallace. It was stated during the Sinnoh arc that he was the champion of Hoenn, but then Steven reclaimed his title during X and Y. Honestly, I think Steven or Wallace can be interchangeable, because I think they are both very strong trainers in their own right, and I am of course a Pokemon Emerald fan. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that Journeys could have taken either route, and I think it would have been fine. Steven or Wallace could be in the top 8. I just think it would be interesting to see Wallace get a little bit more development in screen time. Either way, they both work, and there is no shade whatsoever being thrown at the boy Steven. He deserves to be there, because Steven is dope, and so is his Metagross. So, the last character on the list may or may not be biased, but I strongly believe the Masters 8 needs Johto representation. Mystic, Lance, yeah, but he's more on the Kanto representation in my opinion. And to be honest, the Johto anime never really explored the League there and the Elite Four. Lance technically represents both Johto and Kanto, but I still feel the need to bring to fruition some kind of Johto representation without it being a recurring character between both regions. Bruno is in the Kanto Elite Four. Will, I still think, is Lorelei, or Prima in the anime's case, even though that's a theory, and Koga is a Johto Elite Four member, but I feel he's more Kanto representation considering that's where he originated from. There is one character, though, that has never been touched on before, that could very easily represent Johto, and that individual is Karen. Now yes, Karen has an Umbreon, and she uses Dark types. There is a bit of bias here, but I feel she is the best contender to represent Johto, especially being the last Elite Four member. We don't see how strong she is because she's had no screen time, but she is an Elite Four level trainer, and the last one the player faces. So she is strong at the very least. Karen also has one of the most iconic quotes in the entire franchise, and to be honest, she could have made a huge impact on Ash's development as a character. I think Karen is an extremely underused character and has a lot of potential to bring forth to the anime. In terms of a character she could replace, honestly, I would say Alon. And before you scream at me, I have my reasons for doing this, outside of just personal bias for her. I'm just gonna keep this brief, and I had a discussion about this with a friend of mine, Ronan Charizard. Go check out his anime What Ifs, by the way. Basically, the conclusion we came to was, if Alon's Charizard X does not go up against Ash's Greninja, he is just taking up space. This rematch between Zard X and Ash Greninja needs to happen. This needs to be tied up and wrapped up. We have too much Charizard representation already, and the only way I see Alon being justified is if Ash Greninja and Zard X settle the score. No more, no less. I don't deny Alon's skill, and I do believe he is top 8 material, but the only way I believe he should be here is if Charizard X and Ash Greninja fight each other and duke it out. That's it. Anyway, those are the characters that I feel should be in the Masters 8. Mustard especially because screw Diantha. Once again, if Alon and Ash don't settle the score, he is replaceable. But I guess that could just be me. Anywho, what are your thoughts on the current Masters 8 and who do you think should be there? Or do you think they should just stay the same? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Regardless, no matter what way you look at it, this entire top 8 is going to be heated. Welcome back to the outro, folks, your favorite part of the video. Thank you for enjoying another Mystic Umbreon video. We made it through the end of the 8th generation, and now we begin the long trek into late 2022 where Pokemon Scarlet and Violet await us. It's a whole new world we'll live in, but we still gotta catch them all. However, there's still a ton of videos to do and experiences to have until then. If you're interested in more Mystic content, check out my TikTok and the Mystic Umbreon Shorts YouTube channel. If we get the 10K followers on TikTok, I'll be doing a viewer's choice video. If you like Genshin Impact, check out my Genshin channel Teibachinary. So if you all enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. See you next time.